And that burp was the sound of me turning the stream on. I think, hopefully. Yeah. Anyway.
And indeed confirm that a stream is showing, although I did not actually hear the burp, so maybe it was, in your mind.
That would, yeah, good. Or I kept it quiet. I did put my hand over my mouth and like tried to do it a bit away from the microphone. So yeah. Okay. Welcome to OCC Recap. Blah blah blah. Week 8. Like just 2 games to go left in the season.
We're recapping week 7 and doing predictions for week 8.
Yeah, that sounds plausible to me. And also,
indeed, because
go on.
It is true.
Yeah,
it is actually the case. So yeah, that's why it would sound plausible.
All right, and unusually we're on my channel instead of Ethelred's because he's away, and we're a bit later than usual because stuff. But we're here, so let's go. All right, so let's do the look into last week.
Want to go inverse order as per normal?
Yeah. So start with 3C, and in fact, I've set up Spike already in the right week and everything, so we can look straight at the things.
You're actually telling me that you're organised this week.
I wouldn't go so far as say organised, especially as I've just realised I don't have the OCC predictions on this scene, so I need to do this, copy.
And actually, do you have the up-to-date betting results?
No, I do not. Oh wait, did they get posted in? They did. I think I posted them in the prediction score channel. Yes, I did.
Are you sure it was last week's one?
Yep. 1st of June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a week ago.
June would have been exactly a week ago.
Let's put this.
Tom is saying hello.
Hello, Tom. Or Franco, whichever you prefer. Okay. So we can actually have those numbers in the right place. Let's see. I need to add things though. Oh, this is.
Yeah, it's looking slightly out of date, and they're missing people.
Well, yeah, because like this. In fact, it wasn't even out of date. It was, it was 1 week. So I didn't start off with, the predictions. That was just the scoring from 1 week.
Okay. Where did you paste the last week's one?
It's in OCC predictions, score something or other. I can't see in Discord because it's cut off. But the second to top of the OCC divisions section in the Discord.
Ah, I got you.
Did you see it?
Okay. Yeah, got it. You want me to read them out, or what's quickest for you?
No, it's fine. I'm like getting there. Ooh. What would be great is if I actually didn't use a picture and I could just copy and paste.
Copy paste.
Galentio 47, Keith 9, me 45.
It's actually quite close. I mean, there's 4 or 5 of us who are all within kind of a couple of points of each other.
Yeah, like I pulled out to an early start and then not so much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, Galentio's being annoyingly consistent. Nivanen had a bit of a strong start and then fell away, but I think last week he had a bit of a resurgence. But yeah, I mean, I had a very slow start and then sort of caught up a little bit.
It's not really very legible, but it'll do.
No, I don't know. Can you change the color at all?
Yeah, of course I can. What color would you like?
I think white would obviously be the color that contrasts the best.
Where is it? Ah, here we go.
What is that? Notepad or what is it?
No, it's within OBS itself. So that's OBS's
sort of overlay or whatever.
Yeah. You can actually just like put in text. There you go, nice and white for you. All right. So let's start, shall we? With you're gonna help me by actually telling me what people bet on things, but we'll start with Ratimo's Beauty in the Leap, which I imagine everyone bet on against Sampitu's Imari de Guai.
No, not at all. Actually, more people bet on the Rats than on the Kislev.
Wow, that's surprising. And I noticed that I went for a draw as well. So what were the Kislev kind of beaten up?
I think they were kind of beaten up. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is the better of the Rat teams in the division.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the only two people who went for the Kislev were Galencio and Dreamland.
And a dead Blitzer there, keeping his SPP on the gutters. Do I remember that rightly? Ooh. Keeping a movement bust niggled line rat, and then he gets another movement bust. Movement 5 line rat.
I mean, the niggle there is obviously the
real problem.
The red flag for me. I mean, the movement busts are not so bad. You just stick him on the line, and you just sacrifice him. But yeah, the niggle, you want him to stay on the pitch as long as possible. The niggle doesn't help with that.
No, exactly. The niggle would be the reason to fire him, but the annoyance at the movement 5 would help at least.
I mean, yeah, I would probably consider keeping him with movement 5 if he didn't have the niggle. Because it's just that piece that you want to just put next to the horrible chaos warrior, because you just don't care what happens to it.
Okay, next game is Raven 1840 against Tubrags Circus Circle Blood Bowl. The BM Skitters.
This is the second Kislev versus Rats matchup, and this one was a lot more clear cut. I think definitely in terms of betting, and I think it was definitely the outcome that was the most likely one.
I mean, 2,000 TV Kislev versus 1,300 TV Rats. So
and Rats who have yet to score a point, I think, this season, or I mean, they've definitely yet to win a game. I'm not sure if they managed to draw any. So
I think they drew against Ethelred actually. So because I actually streamed that game and was uploading it today to get it out of my hard drive.
But anyway, they bottom of the table Rats against a huge Kislev team. Yeah, 4-0 is probably not that unlikely.
No.
So do you want me to quickly read through? I'll try and go in alphabetical order. So Broccoli.
I should just leave this open. Okay, Broccoli 80. Yep. Did he?
Yes, myself.
Yep. Obviously. Yep.
Ethel.
Oh, nothing for Dreamland. Go on.
Nothing for Dreamland. Galencio.
Yeah. 49.
Yourself.
Poor Keith. Nothing for Keith.
No, and that's it.
Spider going for a draw or something, I assume. Oh, lots of people went for a draw. So all the others went for a draw.
Well, Dreamland, Niven, and Spider all went for a draw, and then the also ran betters did not bet.
Okay. Not much more to say about this, I don't think.
No, I mean, definitely, what you see is what you get.
Oh, one of the touchdowns was on the already legend catcher, which is a bit of wasted SPP when you're. I assume that was the first one. But,
yeah,
get the 1-0
before the floodgates open.
Now it doesn't have the Eldria versus Ethelred game, even though I know that was played, right? Where I have it. There we go.
And I know that Ethelred won that game. I think much to the surprise of a lot of people.
Eldred.
This is because He conceded, right?
Yeah, so maybe it's not showing because it's concede.
Yeah.
There's a big red concede writing, which is new.
Yeah, it still counts, right, for the betting because obviously the game was played. Yeah, there was a bit of pixel hugging here. I heard that, there was an ad for Hobgoblin being fouled repeatedly, and apparently that was too much for the Chaos Dwarf coach to bear. So yeah, not really the sort of behavior that the OCC encourages. So we'll see what happens in terms of punishment.
Yeah, I mean it's the 51 point rule. Oh, actually, he's not got any 51 STP players anyway. So
yeah. But I mean, he definitely should at least have his wrist slapped, just so that he knows that it's not really the done thing.
And I think especially was Ethelred annoyed that he didn't get any touchdowns because it was before he scored.
Exactly. He couldn't score on the piece that he wanted to.
Which quite often he doesn't do anyway. So I have
This is true.
less sympathy.
Although I think he has. I mean, I think this season at least he's gotten better at not scoring on the marquee, which is normally his sort of go-to scoring piece. I think he's learned now that the marquee is good for picking up the ball, but he should be passing or handing off to someone else to score.
Yeah, he's slowly learning things. It's almost like he's a new player or something.
Anyway, three people actually held the face.
Yeah.
With Ethelred. Unsurprisingly, he went for himself.
Yep.
Braculi also was another one who was strong with the Elven force, and Dreamland, slightly surprisingly, also kept the faith.
Cool. I actually cheated and I filled them in while we were talking about the game, so they're up to date. Okay. Not doing anyone out of any points, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, shall I just hang up at this stage? I mean, you can just carry on with it.
No, I was just showing off a moment of getting ahead of myself. There's no need to be offended. I mean, your one job.
I've got one job and you're doing it, so just stop.
Okay, sorry. I promise not to do that again.
Fine.
That might be a lie as well.
One more.
Yeah. Anyway.
One more chance.
All right. So the next game is Bob's Vincent Price All Stars against Balls for Wallers. BB3 delayed until 2023.
So another one where I think. I mean, it wasn't a huge number of people. It wasn't overwhelming in terms of the betting, but definitely the majority went for Bulls, which I think was the obvious choice. So 4 people in the end. Braculi.
getting to the betting quickly to make sure I don't get ahead of you.
I need to make sure that
Go on.
The work is being registered.
Yeah, obviously you're not here for your scintillating commentary and knowledge of the game. Just reading out who did the best.
Let's just get the points down, then we can get into the interesting analysis.
Okay.
Myself.
Yep, 46 for you.
Galencio.
Oh, reaching the magic 50. Yeah.
Yeah, and Spider.
Oh, is that all?
No one else.
Oh. Less than I thought. But yeah, cool. All right.
5. Yeah, four people. So I mean, like I said, I think this was the obvious one. I mean, Bulls is a solid bash coach, and he's built up his Nurgle to be, it's the Nurgle team that Dreamland wished he had, basically.
Well, it's got 4 warriors for a start.
Yeah, it's got four warriors. It's quite healthy looking, and I mean, Nurgle against Undead at this sort of TV anyway is pretty strongly favored, I think, for Nurgle.
I don't know, like regen teams against kill teams, like you expect the regen to maybe do a little bit of work against the regen.
They are technically both regen teams, right?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, sorry.
But I mean, obviously the Rotters not being the exception.
Yeah.
And the ghouls. But I don't know. I just think Nurgle, especially when they have developed warriors and a couple of nasty pestigores. I mean, they're a lot for undead to handle. Especially, I mean, the big vulnerability there is the mummies. The mummies being so critical for undead. If they lose a mummy early, then it can really snowball.
Yeah, true. And obviously having a piece that blitzes at strength 4 with claw pom and a couple of guarders makes the mummies pretty vulnerable. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway, I mean, undead always have a chance, but it's one of those matchups that I definitely would be the Nurgle, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. So next is the last game of the week. Overlord ARG against Kronk's Star Trekkies, and this was 3-0. Which
to the Dark Elves, right?
Yeah, to the Dark Elves. I kind of expected the Orcs to do oh no, the Dark Elves were a bigger team, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Orcs are always slightly. I mean, they always tend to struggle slightly if they're the underdog, just because they don't have as good inducement options as some other teams. And yeah, I mean, there was though a dead witch, which is annoying for the Dark Elves.
I imagine the Orcs just went for bribes by the looks of it. Maybe a bribe and a wizard or whatever for that TV difference.
I mean, Overlord, who is an Argentinian coach, maybe does focus on damage slightly more than he does for just overall positioning. So.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I mean, if that pays off, it pays off, but it's typically not the sort of strategy that I would condone.
I mean, you know, the thing is, it's not a good strategy in the long run, right? You're going to lose games when it doesn't work.
It's high rolly, right? I mean, you're kind of depending on the dice doing their thing, and there's no kind of flexibility to it. It's like either it works or it doesn't.
It's really, there are a few chaos coaches who can win games, even, or kill team coaches or beat up coaches who can win even when they're not winning the Bash War. But those coaches are few, and I always remember seeing Sage played Chaos in Rebel, and although it was a team with killers, he played them far more positionally than I think most kill team Chaos that I've seen played. Anyway, more positionally well at least. Yeah.
So most people have gone for a draw. Actually, only Dreamland had gone with the Orcs, but 3 people went with the Dark Elves, and they were Ethelred, unsurprisingly, because if there's a Dark Elf team playing, he will normally go with them.
Yeah.
Galantio, annoyingly, keeps himself in the lead, and I was the only other person who thought this would happen.
Cool. Done. And that completes our betting for match day 7 of 3C. More burping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So all right. Are you gonna? It's fine. I mean, this is, to me at this stage, it's just phantom burping because I mean, you're saying you're burping, but I'm just not hearing it.
Okay. You're saying my burping's not living up to what your standard is. Clearly.
I'm saying if you're gonna burp, then do it properly.
Okay. So.
Are you doing everything in Spike? Or are you gonna open the client at all?
I have the client open. And I was just about to hurtle my way towards. I guess
if we are kind of going through this quickly, then maybe we don't have time to kind of look at the teams in detail.
Where is that? I don't know. I like to be able to see what
you're betting on.
What I'm betting on, yeah. And it makes a massive difference when there's the state of the teams, right?
When a team is missing 1 or 2 of its key pieces, then it's a different proposition.
Oh, and I apologise that people's logos may not be their normal logos because I have the OFL's
pack.
Yeah, pack loaded at the moment. So Ethelred does not have an elf with the weed logo on the front of it, and Raven is not playing with a bulldog, and Ratamo doesn't have what looks like a emo in the clouds. I don't know, on his team. So there you go.
Okay. So let's have a quick look at the matchups for week 8.
Okay, so the first game is Ratamo against Bob. So Beauty and the Leap against the Vincent Price All Stars. Beauty and the Leap having 10 players, so a total TV of 14-20. I don't think anything much changed.
I mean, I think they've been like this. If anything, I think he's got more players now than he's has had in the last few games. I think he's kind of slowly rebuilding his roster.
Yeah, he might have bought a line frog or line leaper, whatever we call them. Yeah. I
think I would not. My kind of approach to this situation normally is wait until I get over the 150k before I start to buy pieces.
I mean, doesn't he want to buy more blitzers at some point? I mean, like I get the not. So yeah. I'd be trying really hard to level up the blitzer and then also then buy another one. So like get him to block at least, or maybe blodge, or block guard, or block Danton.
What is the kind of the sweet spot for you in terms of blitzers? Is it 2 blitzers?
It depends very much on the league. Like if you're in tier 3, going up to getting your 4th blitzer, I think is a great idea because you've still got a couple of seasons of them maturing, and it's when they have many skills that they're really useful, right? At the moment, this guy is 110k of not very good player. He's 1 movement faster and has jump up and diving tackle, but other than that, linemen would be better, and they're just so expensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's the big problem with Kislev is that they only start to become good at sort of 1800 TV, and they blow it up so fast because they need the core skills before they start to shine.
Yeah, they blow it up ridiculously. I've never actually got around to it, but I'd quite like to try an experiment of just having linemen, because the linemen actually, for Kislev, for the thing that Kislev do, which is leap in and sack the ball, the linemen are pretty good at doing it already, right? So just having a team of linemen.
What about just linemen and say 1 or 2 catchers?
Yeah, I mean that's broad. That's already what this team is, right?
I mean, well, he has 1 blitzer and the bear. Right,
yeah.
as well. But yeah, I mean, the catchers are just so good for handling the ball. That it's hard to kind of
turn them down,
leave them out.
Yeah, and they are also only 80k to start with, which for Agi 4 movement 7s compared to like 20k for 1 more movement.
And it's just the fact that they can leap on it too. Like they're an Agi 5 piece is just so huge as well.
Yeah. So I mean, you could even just not get blitzers at all, really. Maybe blitzers are why Kislev team blows up so badly, and the bears, I think.
I mean, when you do get to the unicorn Kislev, well, I suppose we're going to look at the other Kislev team in a bit, which I think is sort of reaching that unicorn stage. Then that's when the blitzers really start to feel worth it. But it's getting there that it's so hard.
Yeah, and the fact is that it's around 2,200 TV where you've got these 4 amazing blitzers, and that is also the point at which obviously you're facing 2,000 something TV kill teams and you just get murdered. So it's like
Yeah, but I mean, for those 2,000 TV kill teams, you are a terrifying team to face
as
well.
I always think it's hilarious when people complain about, oh my god, Kislev, or was it a Purple Chest calls it leap cheat or something like that? I forgot what phrase he uses about it, but he hates Kislev, and what's his name as well? Calcium Kaz really doesn't like the leaping in either, and I'm just they're a terrible team. They're a tier 2.5 team at best.
I mean, the murder teams don't like people just coming in and taking the ball away from them,
making the game about the ball.
Yeah. So I mean, if it makes those types of coaches cry, then I'm all for it.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, this
in
is
no way
one of
related.
one of those teams that's been horribly ordered just to make things difficult. But yeah, so we have the AV10 abomination of a mummy, who should have been killed at birth. But there it is, and hard to make out what the rest of the team is. But yeah, this is the one with the two whites who are kind of the stars of the team, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both AG4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both with tackle, guard, and all that. They're pretty. They've been built pretty utilitarianly. If that's even a phrase.
I mean, they are nice pieces. Neither of them has gone like the full kind of palm killer route, but they're both kind of Swiss Army knives that do a bit of everything.
I think on Undead, because you get the mighty blow on the mummies anyway, you end up with 4 mummies. I quite like not having a killer on Undead.
I typically go for 1 full-on killer and 1 utility piece, just because I think Undead really need sometimes a good removal type option, especially against elves and things like that. If you can be kind of removing an elf a turn or something to that degree, then it gives you a much better chance.
Yeah. And 2 ghouls who are together, so not too confusing. One with movement up and sure hands, and the other one with just blodge. Dirty player, and then lots of zombies with.
I mean, I think Undead definitely need 3 ghouls, at least. But this team has a lot of quite developed zombies as well, which is sort of it's TV that you would rather have on your positionals. But I mean, it's they have their uses, I guess. But I like that he's gone wrestle on them. I mean, to me, I like wrestle on zombies. I know some people don't.
Yeah, I quite like some block on there as well to have some standing up. I don't like them all accidentally wrestling to the ground. It can make your own defense of the ball problematic sometimes. And 1 dirty player skeleton and 1 dirty player zombie. And then two skeletons in total for a bit of movement, I guess. And actually, at this level, skeletons are probably better than zombies, right? At this level, you're facing a lot of claw pom. Thick skull AV7's better than AV8, and you get free movement.
I'm a fan of at least 1 skelly on the team, but yeah, I mean 2 is fine. Yeah, like you say, in certain matchups they're just better than zombies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I prefer to have the zombies typically as the LOS fodder, and the skellies more as kind of support pieces that can kind of keep up with the cage better.
Yeah, and move in for assists from a bit further away and that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so who do you think's going to win though? So the Kislev are going to get 250 inducements.
They have how many? Is it 10 players on the Kislev?
So that's after the loner. So they get 1 loner, that puts them up to 1420, and then it's 250 to get to 1670. Which obviously has to be a wizard, right? And then
wizard and probably a body or 2 if they can. Well, probably 1 body.
Yeah.
How much did you say? 250? Did you say?
250, so they have 100 left over. One Merc lineman is 90. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I think a Merc lineman and the wizard is probably the way I'd go.
Yeah, that's not bad. But who's going to win?
A tough one. Someone's gone for a draw already? Is that you? No, Niven has been in. Yeah, Niven has gone for a draw.
Niven has been in and gone for a draw on all the matches, so it's just
I think he hasn't given it much thought. I think he's just kind of gone for putting something down. But it's a tough one because I mean Kislev they love having a wizard, because obviously it kind of goes with their game plan. But the undead are quite a lot to handle for them as well. I'm not sure. I'm a bit on the fence on this one. A draw actually might not be that unlikely.
Yeah, same. I'm not sure how this could go.
It's one of those that it could. I mean, it could be a blowout, or it could, a lot depends on the timing of the wizard play and how effective the wizard is.
So on the one hand, Bob has equal most draws in this division on 2, and on the other hand, Ratamo has 0 draws and just wins or loses. And for that reason, I think I'm going to go for Ratamo. Just dicing the ball.
He's gonna go balls out.
Yeah, and either he wins or he loses, so I think you have to pick one side or the other, and I think he'll win.
Right. But for that reason, I think it'll blow up in his face, and I think the undead will win.
It's good logic. Yeah.
I mean, both scenarios completely plausible.
Yeah, indeed. All right, next game is don't press back there. Don't press back. Is Ethelred Southville S&M against Kronk Star Trekkie, which is the other Dark Elf team. Oh wait,
yes.
This is being admin, isn't it? We know this is a draw.
Was that because
they're unable to play? Ethelred's away for the exact time that Kronk is available, and then Kronk is away for the time that Ethelred's available. So they've both said they agree to a draw. Whether the admins agree that that's draw worthy, is up to them. But I think that's going to be an admin. Remember, he was asking for people to sub in, and I offered, and then he said, "No, don't worry about it. It's just being admin."
Okay.
But Ethelred would have lost if he played. There, it's my betting on the subject. But I'm going to put a poo emoji there because I think it's going to be a no game, right?
Okay.
So
I mean, it's actually pretty. It's pretty advantageous, I think, for him to get a draw here. I think it would be a tough one for him. But he's having a great season, so this should almost cement his promotion, probably.
Even a draw? I don't know. It's still really close. Oh, and this was second against third as well. Geez, there's only 1 point between them.
Yeah, and this is tier 3, so typically, if you're coming in the top 4 or 5,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
because people are going to drop out.
Yeah, and it's week 8, right? So there's only 1 more game left after this.
I mean, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't go back to tier 2.
Yeah, back to tier 2. Was he in tier 2 last? I think he was in tier 3 last season. But yeah.
No, last season he was in tier 3, but the season that I think there was a season we were all in the same tier, wasn't there? And that was tier 2.
Yeah, plausibly. The heady heights of tier 2 for Ethelred.
Well, I think he will remind you that he was in champs with Undead right at the very start.
Once before I was born. Anyway, all right. So the next game is Tubrag's Circus Circle Blood Bowl against Blue Ravagers Overlord ARG. So let's have a look at Tubrag first. 2000 TV Kislev. So is this your idea of no, this is not my idea of Unicorn Kislev. This is my idea of slightly beaten up Kislev. Look at all those crosses. 7 crosses.
Yeah, it's quite a few crosses. But I mean, Edge Bust on the Killer is not terrible. I mean, well, it's not great, but I mean, at least that's the piece that you're trying to hit things with.
Edge Bust on the Killer, it feels not terrible for a while, and then at some point you try and make a jump up hit, and you roll a 2, and you're like, oh, I knew there was a reason why this is bad.
It's always the scenario where you need to dodge away from someone to blitz someone, and then it's obviously more difficult.
I mean, I personally hate the niggle on the no skill blitzer more than anything else. That would be my first point of firing, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
All the other things
you don't want to be investing SPP into that.
Yeah. I think the other things.
If it's like a superstar that gets a niggle, then you keep it. But if it's a rookie, I mean, just get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I think pretty much all the others are acceptable. Like the catcher, you need the catcher who can catch, right? I think he's, even with an armor bust, you'll be protecting him and trying to get the ball to him and then getting away. So like he shouldn't get hit too often. The niggled thrower hopefully would be in a similar situation where he's, you know.
I mean, it's plausible that we didn't look at what the team was like last week. It's plausible that niggle blitzer was sort of MNG and he just kind of kept it on the roster and he might suck it.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I don't remember it being there before, but that could mean anything. Who knows? He says.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sacked it, basically.
No, yeah. I can actually check.
Plus, it's gonna free up a lot of TV. I mean, how many players has he actually got? He's got
for this
12,
game,
right? For this,
yeah, for this game he's got 12, 13 overall.
So he could go down to 11. I mean, he's got just enough to buy another line now if he wants to.
Yeah, I think no, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. I don't think.
Okay, maybe he just wants to keep it.
Yeah, no, he had it for last week at least, and the week before.
Maybe he's one of those players who thinks, well, if you can't see it, it's not an injury.
Niggles are fine. I mean, also, at the moment it's keeping on 12 players, and he's high TV, so firing him might not actually,
Yeah, I think the thing is though, I mean, he's facing an orc team which we can look at now that has quite a lot of mighty blow. So, it's the sort of player that they'll be targeting. No defensive skills and a niggle. It's like, hello, come to Papa.
And as you mentioned, Overlord is a bit of a bashy coach.
A bit of an attrition heavy coach. So, yeah.
Yeah, but we also talked about how this orc team, orcs generally don't do well with inducements, right? And this orc team is 12 players and will be getting 560 TV of inducements.
That's a lot. I mean, would you bring Morg to the party?
Actually, against Kislev, could be hilarious.
He's always an interesting option when it's not a sort of a claw team that you're facing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is actually worth the money if you're not facing a team who instantly make his AV 7 rather than 10. But teams that foul, well, and this probably isn't a fouling team either. Yeah, Morg's not a bad shout, but it does do you out of a wizard and a bribe, or
Yeah, but wizard, I mean, against as orcs against Kislev, the wizard is not really that effective.
It's
unless you get sort of a miracle fireball that just takes everyone out.
But bribes, I think Overlord will want some bribes. He's got 2 dirty players.
You can get probably Morg and a bribe, can't he?
No, well, he'd have to spend his own money on the bribe, basically. Morg will cost the best part of that TV difference, won't he? 430, 870. Oh no, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he'll have enough for bribe as well.
I would be very tempted by Morg and a bribe.
Sounds very.
Obviously, BB20 2020 Morg would just be you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah,
because he's cheaper at Mighty Blow +2. I mean, it's like straight in there.
Mighty Blow 2+2 is basically claw bomb on one player.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to lie down anymore.
Exactly, and he's what is he, 380 or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah,
and his price was even increased.
Yeah, so he started off even less than that, I think. I think he's 380 now. Is that right? Yeah, he was 340 originally. He says just opening up the book.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy.
340. Mighty Blow, I mean, just unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually in favor of the overall idea of making the stars better. For kind of for their cost. But yeah, I mean, they definitely went too far in a couple of cases.
I have mixed feelings about it. I know that the inducements are supposed to not totally make up for a higher TV team's advantage. Like, you're supposed to be rewarded for building a bigger team, right? And a lower team shouldn't be equal to you because just because of inducements. And I don't mind that design choice. I think that's a good design choice generally. I think leagues should be running in ways that means that fresh teams aren't facing 2000 TV inducement teams, right? But yeah, no, I kind of like they went way too far though, right? They clearly made all the star players massively over. All the star players are massively OP, and that's because they want to sell star player models, which are like
not all of them. I mean, this is the thing though. They definitely made some of them massively OP. Others they made kind of good value, but not crazy, not game breaking. Which is that's what they should be trying to do. They should make the star players attractive as inducement options, but not just make them so good that they warp the game.
I think even the less good star players are still too good compared with what you could. There's also the thing about you don't want a star player who's better than a player you could build on your own team. You want to be able to build a player who fits into your team perfectly and is therefore better than what you can get from a star player. But the star players are just better, and they have special things about them that make them just able to do things that no one else can do, and that is that like those North Star players are totally game broken. Being able to cage dive type thing with a couple of them. As
I don't know if I don't know if the barrel throwing one is get. I mean, it definitely has an ability that can win a game, but it can also kind of
blow up your face.
Just kind of blow up in your face. It's a 3+, right? Although I think only on the one does the barrel kind of take himself out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely, I'd single out. Sort of. I mean, I haven't. I mean, as a caveat, I have yet to play tabletop under the new rules, but obviously, I'm kind of following quite closely what people are saying. But Morg, Hackflem, and Griff seem to be kind of the main 3 star players that are definitely sort of, that tournament rule sets have to kind of
deal with. I mean, like they're the most often picked, but that's partly also because they are. Well, Morgan Griff were kind of the go-to choice at tabletop res anyway, right? There were always Morg builds and Griff builds in res. They were just
under the previous rule set. I mean, it was really hard to fit Morg into any team because he was so ridiculously expensive.
But he was still. Then people would still try to do him and Griff, right? That was not uncommon to see them at tabletop. Whereas Hackflem is actually, he's actually his one thing isn't that broken. But I went to a TT where stars were allowed, and Varag was also there, and he was pretty good.
Varag for me is kind of acceptably good.
Yeah,
I mean the thing about Hackflem as well is the fact that he can play for chaos teams. Is also ridiculous. The fact you can. I mean, Nurgle, because they're so shit. Maybe it's fine that he can play for them, but things like Chaos Dwarves. Having Hackflem is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but on an Underworld team, I think he wasn't that amazing, and he fit in quite well. Varag is an example of someone who in BB2 I thought was always just garbage. Because when
I wouldn't say he was garbage, but he's probably the best option that orcs have outside of Morg. I mean, just because
he is so expensive. He's so expensive and brings so little to an orc team that are behind TV.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
But when you are like massively behind against another team, I mean, he's a decent player to have on the pitch. But yeah, he's underwhelming for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this. Back to this quick.
At this rate, we'll be finished sometime tonight. So we should probably get our skates on.
Okay, so I'll go for the Kislev. I'm not I think they can turn over the Orcs. It's a lot of TV for the Orcs to be behind, and the Kislev have players.
I think I agree. I think
their records aren't that different, though. You know.
Yeah, actually, I'm having second thoughts about it. I mean, I think a lot depends on what they go with on the inducements. If they take Morgan a bribe, I think actually the Orcs have a very good shot at this, because they could just sort of wipe out the Kislev team. And for that reason, if I was a Kislev, I would definitely be firing that Nickel Blitzer. But actually, I think I'm going to go for a draw. I don't know why. I think
you would fire the Nigel Blitzer, right? But that would end up with the Kislev being on 11 players, which would mean they'd be more prone to the attrition the Orcs bring, right?
You do have 60k, so you could just buy a lino, and at least it's not a niggle defenseless piece on the pitch.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't mind that as an idea, but I'm going for the Kislev. But I've gone for a draw. It's largely because I like Kislev more than because I have a deep knowledge of why one team will win on the other. Okay, so next is Sampitu against Balls to the Waller, and already you and Spider have gone for Balls.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't even looked at the teams, but I mean, just given the sort of the position in the table and just the matchup in general, I think unless obviously
unless there's a massive MNG that's going to totally change,
unless the dice do some weird things, I think this should just be a Nurgle win all day.
He's got 60k of spare cash as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still quite a low TV Nurgle team. Well, he's missing a killer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's missing a Claw Mighty Blow Pestigore.
Yeah, although in this matchup, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's just one less player to 1 in 9 with, right? It's perhaps making his team a bit safer for this game. The Rats.
Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, doesn't have block then.
No block, just Claw Mighty Blow.
Okay.
Yeah. The Rats do get a fair bit of inducements though, right? So 1550, full team of Rats. 340 inducements.
But we said the Nurgle, is that factoring in the fact that Nurgle have cash to burn?
No, that's not including that. So yeah, there would be 60k less if the cash is burnt off. Or they could buy something with it that makes their TV.
They could buy a rotter just to have more bodies for fouling.
It's probably not worth it though. I don't think. I think this is a good number of players, and they probably earn a roster in this rat game anyway.
Yeah, although they not unlike the undead teams, they don't get it until the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything to change my mind. I just think this. I mean, the Rats, obviously, with a wizard and maybe
a natty.
I mean, yeah, they have a natty, sure. Yeah, actually, but they haven't really been getting the results. I mean, they're just a bit thin on the ground besides the natty. I don't know. I mean, if it was a coach who maybe had been doing better with the Rats, I'd have more faith in them, but I don't.
Oh yeah. He's only had the natty for 2 times. He's only had the full-on sure feet natty for 2 games, though, right? So, whoa, that was loud.
What was that?
There was a follow. General Rassimo followed, and also said, "You lied to me. I wasn't expecting this," which is entirely plausible, but I don't know why. Yeah. Maybe he expected it to be on Ethelred's channel. Also, I thought Ratmo already followed years ago when I was relatively regularly streaming.
We already talked about your upcoming game, Radamo, against the Undead. And yeah, we expect you to either win or lose. There you go.
Full of insight, as always. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was waiting for Ethelred. Yeah, no, Ethelred did say last week he wouldn't be available this week, I think. But I think that might have been just to me and maybe not when we were actually on the stream. So maybe he didn't. I don't know. Because you didn't know about that either, right, Danton?
No, I did not.
No.
So yeah, let's push on, because I think we've been talking for an hour and we've only done one division.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So last game. Oh yeah, we both chose. We all picked balls. So last game of the week is Raven 1840 BM Skitters OCC against Eldridge Chaos Metamorphoses.
Yeah. So this is the coach that conceded against Ethel, playing against the bottom team of the division. So if he's, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens in terms of his punishment. But assuming he does play, then I think, I mean, the Chorfs are still favored here.
Blind. Sorry. Okay, so it's the rats with the rat ogre, which is I just think a bad idea, and all the SPP on the gutter runners. Is that strength up gutter new? I think it might be, or newish.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that before. I mean, on paper the team is not terrible. I mean, there's a couple of questionable choices, like obviously Sure Feet on the gutter, which should have been sidestep. And the first gutter is obviously a real mess of a piece with it doesn't really know what it is.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Rat Ogre is not terrible, especially at this kind of TV. When the TV gets a little bit higher, then definitely it gets.
I mean,
gets worse and worse.
I'm not a fan of the Rat Ogre, and this is why they tend to steal. So they wild animal, a sixth of your blitzes anyway, and then that's also stealing SVP away from your Storm Vermin, and I think Storm Vermin is so important to get SVP on.
I don't mind the Rat Ogre like for a starting team, but once the team gets more developed, I definitely think it becomes more of a liability.
Yeah, and they're also rats are a fast team, and the Roger is kind of slow because it doesn't want to move a lot of the time. Too much of the time for my liking. Against Eldrir, who didn't like his pieces being fouled. So there's a hint for all opposition in future, and maybe also a reason why he's taken Mighty Blow and Claw on everything he can.
Yeah.
Not quite everything he can. He took a strength and a guard. There you
go. But yeah, I don't think the rats are gonna have a nice time.
No, this is a rat killing team. I will join the masses who vote for Eldrir in this one. All right,
and so that's 3C. So are we gonna do one more, or what are we gonna do?
I can. You said you had to finish now, right? Or can we quickly carry on?
No, I mean I've got people pinging me at work, but I can just ignore them.
Excellent. So to quickly then, with no further ado, 2B. Boom. There we go. And the predictions have magically appeared again. So then we need to go to the 2B predictions. And the first game was Keith Carr Snowflake Generation against Franco's Dying Eagles.
So Tom is still, I think, with us, and maybe he could give us a little insight into the game. I mean, betting surprisingly slightly favored Keith. With still a reasonable number of people going for Tom, but I went for Tom, and I mean the matchup generally favors Kislev. I think obviously it's a little bit dependent.
Kislev, no Kislev. It's the underworld Kemri.
It's the other team that starts with a K.
Yeah.
We're talking so much about Kislev that anything beginning with a K is automatically Kislev.
I mean, this is the division with 3 Kislev in it, so that even more so.
So Yeah, the Khemri I think are generally favored just because they outstrength the Underworld massively. But obviously, the killer blitzers on the Underworld team can do some work if they start to remove a couple of Tomb Guardians. But that does not seem to have happened here.
Okay, so this was a star player off. Obviously, this was at Keith's Stadium, which was a Nuffle Altar, and Keith bought Bomb of.
I think the Khemri were quite beaten up, weren't they?
Yeah, they just lost another of their Tomb Guardians and also their Blitzerar. So one unskilled Blitzerar and one skilled Tomb Guardian out of 4, or out of 3, I should say. Keith Overdog scummed Bomber Dribble Snot and Fez Glitch at, for 10k and 30k, I think. When you take off the Nuffle Altar cost, so he spent 40k, which then gave Franco Ramtut, Setek, and a Merc Tomb Guardian.
Glorious.
Yeah, 800 TV of inducements with the Star Player Stadium and Keith overdogged. So yeah,
and he had a wizard.
Yeah.
Tom's saying Lightning Bolt whiffed, but Keith wasted a lot of his rerolls. Yeah, it looks like he was greed rerolling a lot of those blitzer hits.
Yeah, because Keith is a dice lord and likes to roll his dice and roll more, as many of them as possible.
Yeah. So yeah, 3 people actually kept the faith with the Khemri, and they were you and I, along with Dreamer.
Woot. Coincidentally, all the people who, I don't know. I was going to say all the people who've been casting on this stream relatively regularly, except Ethelred, who's just doesn't.
Ethelred, if there's no elf team involved, then he just basically flips a coin, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything? So Lightning Bolt whiff, but Keith wasted a lot of rerolls on double push blitzes. I kept tagging the Bomber with a Skelly, so Keith kept blitzing him with Horn's Claw Bomber instead of hunting Tomb Guardians. That's just terrible play from Keith.
Keith just wanted to throw bombs. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, that's basically, it's fun. Keith is a lot of fun to play with. But yeah, I am unsurprised that Tom beat him very clearly, as my vote alluded to, even with 800 TV inducement, which is just ridiculous.
But yeah, this could have been a lot of fun to play from the Khemri side. Assuming your players don't explode, just having those 2 stars on the pitch is fun.
Yeah, and so taking the Khemri lots of strength angle and adding a lot to it by having Ramtut and Setek as well. So like a strength 6, 4 strength 5s, and 2 strength 4s. It's not bad, is it? seven players who are stronger than strength 3.
Yeah, a lot of 3 die. I imagine a lot of 3 die hits for his team.
Yeah, and it looks like, I imagine that for Keith to have only got 25 blocks, I imagine he lost players. Like, there were 8 KOs, 3 casualties of death. There we go.
Yeah, and the moment those blitzers sort of left the pitch, then it becomes very one-sided.
Yeah. Cool. Next game.
Yeah.
Is, I hate the way it does that. Every time you go back in Spike, it goes to the current match day. Is this game was played last night, I think, because I saw the match report recently, so it was played at some point between me last checking Discord, which I think was recently. Yep. Eagle Force 1 Scorus 2000 against the Serial Sinkers, Conky Chops 1-1, which I think is kind of like Kislev against Vampires. Who would have guessed 1-1? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and also given the records of the teams, there was a lot of betting on the Vampires just because they're generally, I think, having a much better season. But yeah, I mean, you would have expected. This is a sort of matchup where there's a lot of dice rolling, so I mean that can obviously make things happen.
The movement 4 actually won. Kislev lineman, who's being kept, got a third anti-bust, which Spike is showing as anti-0.
That's a glorious piece. I mean, that is one of the only positive things I can say about BB3 is the fact you can rename players as they progress. I mean, literally, that is just the punching bag. And I mean, sure, keep him. Why not?
And sadly, the Kislev, was it a Merc or is it it's a loner? No, it was a Merc. Yeah. They had a Merc player and he stole the MVP, so you can't buy that. No.
So anyway, 2 people did actually bet on the draw.
Wow.
And they were Keith.
Wow, Keith.
Who, yeah. He doesn't bet very often, but when he does,
it's high quality betting, yeah.
Surprises people. And Nivenin.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have. I am also disappointed because I am the Vampire's next opponent. So I'm sad to say that there are no perms of any. Is that? No, that's touchdown, isn't it? Yeah. No one's missing from this team to face me next week. But anyway, next game is
next game the Lizards against the Necro.
Yeah, Hilnick against Ikith.
Yeah.
Sorry, I actually muted there for the coughing. Ethelred will be proud. I see a dead.
At least it wasn't burping.
No burping. I don't mute that. I just do it quietly.
You just do it in your imagination.
Mm-hmm. Like so many things.
Dead skink.
Yeah, with wrestle, sidestep, and diving tackle, which is a slightly odd combination.
Yes. Diving tackle is not typically what you would be taking there, but
I mean, like sidestep and diving tackle are my go-to choices for crappy skinks.
Sure, but not with wrestle. I mean, I guess the thing is with wrestle, you really want to be rolling more doubles to get the skills that combine with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would take on that piece. I think I would have taken jump up, just because I think it's good with wrestle.
That's the
you're
point,
you're running out of decent options.
And 9 SPP on one wolf and 7 SPP on the other.
So the Wolves had a field day. I mean, I remember Hilnick's team when I faced it back in. I think I faced it. Wasn't he in champs with the 2 of us?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, or was it tier 2 with us, something like that? But yeah, tier 1.
He was in. This team was in champs with us 2 seasons ago, I think.
And with no wolves, was that right? With zero,
exactly. So, or he had 1 wolf. Basically, he'd lost his wolves and he was rebuilding them. So, definitely the wolves are looking a lot healthier. Both of them with Mighty Blow is quite scary.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you recycle a player enough. They roll a double for their first skill and then you protect them. So clearly that's what he was doing. Like, yeah, I think when he had 1 wolf, that wolf had block first. So these are both wolves who have died, who have been bought since then, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I would just be, if they don't roll anything out of the ordinary, I'd just be slapping dodge on both of them.
Yeah, they both do need dodge. But a pretty good win for Hilnick. How well does betting go?
He's been having a bad season, right? So I mean, but still, a lot of people bet on him because I think, I mean, he's obviously still a good coach with a decent team, and the matchup I think favors the Necro slightly.
Well, any claw team against Lizards, you start to worry about the Lizards losing a Saurus, and then.
So there was a lot of betting actually before Helmick.
Okay.
So, yeah, going in alphabetical order. So, Broccoli.
Yep.
Myself.
Yep.
Dreamland.
Up to the magic 50 as well.
Ethel.
Yep.
Not Galentia.
Hooray! So, excellent. The leader drops a point.
Excellent news for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yourself?
No Keith. Yeah.
No Keith. And Spider.
Still pretty close. You, me, and Dreamland. Very close indeed. 1 point each. Anyway, so next is my game. Broccoli's Goblins against my Norse.
Yeah. So what was this? Was draw, wasn't it?
I remember losing this. What?
2-2.
Yeah, it says 2-2. I thought I lost this game. Clearly, I did. I like just. I must have.
Maybe it was sort of a.
Oh no! I remember. Okay, so I remember what happened. I remember what happened. It was.
Maybe you probably diced him to get the draw. One of those kind of things.
So his drive, he scores really early. Then I wander forward, removing his elves, and score 1-1 at the half. Feeling pretty good about the world. Then, yeah, second half. It may not have been a blitz, but it was a deep kick, and he
got the pressure on.
And then I failed a 1 in 9, and I actually made a slight mistake. I dodged the runner to pick up the ball when I should have dodged away from the ball and then onto it, so that there was a chance that if the dodge had failed. No. So I didn't make the dodge harder, but I made it that if the dodge failed, I landed on the ball and the ball scattered. And if I dodged away from the ball and then tried to pick it up, it would have been either still there if I failed the dodge, or there would have been 2 tackle zones on it if I had tried to pick up. But dodging straight onto it meant it was scattering and there was only 1 tackle zone on it. So that was a mistake. And I basically paid for that. He scored, and then it was 2-1, and then I scored back. And he couldn't score a 1 turn against my 2 sidesteppers on the LOS. And the Yeti he removed early. Who did someone die? I thought someone died. No one died? Oh, no one died. Fine. But yeah. So it was a draw that I thought I was going to win early on, and then felt pretty good about up until turn 13 or 14, and then felt terrible about. So yeah.
Only 2 people felt it was going to be a draw, and they were Nivinen and Spider.
Of course, Spider bet on the draw. Of course. Cool.
Well, Nivinen, I mean, I think Nivinen, from what we've seen, it does go for a lot of draws as well.
You think
maybe just out of just laziness, or just get something down. But,
yeah. Click on all the draws and then maybe come back to it later and correct them later if you can be bothered. But yeah,
there could be some of that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so last game.
Yep. Lager bombs
was the Kislev off.
There has to be with 3 Kislev teams in the league in the division. There has to be a Kislev off every so often, more than once a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite surprising that between the divisions we're covering this season, there's 5 Kislev teams, which is a lot.
I mean, basically, they're not going to be in Blood Bowl 3, right? So is this like the quick? I need to play Kislev. Quick, I need to play Clawpon before it doesn't exist. Which I think we see a lot of.
Well, you don't see so much Clawpon in the OCC now. I think a lot of the big claw teams have sort of come and gone.
Yeah, but it's the people who previously haven't played claw. So I think Dreamland said the reason he picked Nurgle is he wanted to have a clawpomming Nurgle team by the.
I thought the reason he wanted to pick Nurgle was to have all his players die.
Yeah. Well, that's what's actually happened. I don't think he's actually managed to get a clawpommer yet.
So what was hang on, what was the score in this one?
It was 2-1 to Mongloom.
Yeah. So I'm betting wise, actually not a single person bet for Largabon. So the betting was kind of split between the draw and Mongloom winning, with most people betting on Mongloom. Maybe that was because Mongloom is maybe slightly more well known, or I think his team is in a slightly better kind of condition maybe than Largabon's.
Yeah, no, his team is not in a better position, in a better condition, and he's a more experienced coach. I think, although Largabon is, I think, possibly more of a Kislev main, and Mongloom's not. I think being a good player, playing with a lot of experience helps you. Like having a general experience helps more than being specialized, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of matchup that can throw up some interesting scenarios where that's. I mean, it's one of those cases where the threat of the leap often is more important than the actual leaping in itself. Because obviously, if you commit with the leaping and it goes wrong, then that can just completely sink your drive as well.
I mean, I talked about experience, but the number of times you get to experience a Kislev off is very, very rare, right? It's not often you're in a league with one other Kislev team, let alone
more about general sort of Blood Bowl experience.
Yeah.
About sort of reading those slightly sort of irregular scenarios.
I mean, yeah, and also they both got fairly similar number of blocks and a fairly similar number of armor breaks and a fairly similar number of KOs, but Mongloom got a death and 2 Kaz.
Yeah.
So.
Well, sure, but he does have more killy kind of pieces, I think, than Largabon, doesn't he?
No, I think he's got. Well, Largabon's got. He's got an actual. He's got a. Yeah, he's got a
Pommer.
Pommer. Yeah, whereas Largabon has 2 might blow. Yeah. So yeah.
But the Pommer, I mean, Pommer can definitely make it. I mean, he's got a tackle Pommer. He can definitely make a difference.
Yeah, but the death was only a crappy lineman, and the Kaz weren't perms. So.
So betting, like I said, there was actually 6 people that went for the Mongloom win.
Oh wait! Let me just point out something. So if you look at the SDP, one of the players who got one of the Kaz was a catcher with no skills. So part of the reason he leveled up is that he scored a touchdown and got a Kaz. Actually, no, the Kaz was extra, so he didn't need the Kaz. But yeah, unskilled catcher, probably punching someone, just got some dice. Kaz them. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you, betting. Go on then, betting.
No worries. So yeah, completely random. No coaching ability at all. Just killed people with his catcher, and he won. So Brakuli, I'll try and go up again.
Yep.
Myself.
Oh, you've reached 50.
Not Dreamland.
Oh.
Yes, Ethel.
Yeah.
Yes, Galentio.
Oh, that would have been pretty sweet. Go on.
Yes, Keith.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Not you.
No, I know. I'm well aware.
Not Nibbenen. And yes, Spider.
Cool. So, yeah. You and Dreamland on equal points, 2 points behind Valentio now. Me dropping away.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the betting. So we have a quick look at next week.
Yeah. So. Oh no! Don't do that. God damn it. Blah. All right. So next week we have Bunch of Gamers against Dying Eagles. Is the first game.
That's a spicy one.
Yeah, except the Bunch of Gamers are 2070 TV Necro with 2.
Yeah, I mean it's a spicy one in terms of the coaches, but yeah, we'll see the teams now, and it could be painful one for our friend Tom.
Yeah.
Still no skill ups on the wolves, but I mean, so do you prefer as a second double on a wolf piling on or jugs?
I find it really hard to turn down piling on. The effect it has on the kill stack is ridiculous. And if you don't use it, you don't need to use it. Jugs also is really useful, but I think more for the elfy teams.
Yeah, it's just great with frenzy, isn't it? I mean, the fact that you get to get the second hit in if you roll the 1 in 9, or and plus the fact you can move stand firm and fend around. I mean, and hitting wrestle. There's just a lot of aspects to it, but obviously you need to be blitzing, whereas piling on is always going to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to turn piling on down for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's Hill Nick. So Hill Nick, are you just did you roll normal on these two?
No double.
So just dodge on both.
Wait. No doubles doesn't necessarily mean dodge, right? It could be a stat.
I think you would have said if it was a stat.
Okay.
But I mean,
you basically take anything, right? So
I'd be surprised, especially if you look at his team. There's already some blodge there, right? In terms of some of the, I mean, one of the fleshies is a blodger,
and the white.
One of the whites, and
obviously the ghoul.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
there we go. One can get agi.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you take the agi. Well, it depends actually. Is it the movement 7 one or the movement 8 one?
I don't care. I take it on this movement 7 one too. Agi 4?
Yeah. You still take agi. I mean, it's just so good for just generally being able to do a bit of everything.
And then they take dodge next skill. And like having agi 4 on a player who's relatively fast, even the movement 7 is fast, right?
Yeah.
I would take it in a And also, it's not like you're trying to avoid blow. He's at 2,090. It's a not injured wolf. Definitely, I would take it.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I would have taken dodge before tackle on at least one of them. I just prefer having the blodge for the movement, the mobility, and frenzy is kind of poor man's tackle anyway. But yeah, I probably would have gone dodge on one and tackle on the other. But edge now on one and dodge on the other is fine.
Yeah. Would you consider taking sidestep instead of dodge?
No.
In a world where you're probably facing lots of tackle and they're probably getting hit by...
if you're facing a division that's all dwarf teams, then sure you can think about it. Otherwise, I mean, dodge is just so good in terms of protection and mobility that it's just better than sidestep.
Yeah. Okay. But only one more skill left, so
So this team is starting to look quite scary now.
I mean, I think it looks it's really scary,
Yeah, Kilnick, we were talking about when I think both Core Knight and I played against you in Champs 2 seasons ago, where you only had kind of one basic wolf. So now that you've got the 2 wolves online again, the team is looking nice.
Yeah, and that one basic wolf wasn't either of these 2 because that one basic wolf had block first. Yeah, it was a torrid period where they lost like 4 wolves or something. So it was 2 one season, then one got replaced, and then maybe 3. But yeah.
But now, I mean, with all those strength ups, with all that blodge, I mean, it's just this team has everything it needs.
So 2-1-30 against. Franco does now have 4 Tomb Guardians on his roster. There you go. Just needs another Blitzer now. 12 players though, and 720 TV of inducements. Minus Agi Ghoul was that.
Minus, I thought it was minus MA, not minus AV.
Oh, minus AV. Yeah. So the minus MA on a wolf, but
not minus AV.
But maybe he's talking about. I think it. No. When we talked in the game, it was the plus strength guard ghoul that he was talking about. Whether he should fire it at some point.
The AV on the ghoul.
I
mean, yeah, AV6 is yeah, it's not ideal, but he's strength 4, and you can still there's a reasonable amount of guard that you can protect him with.
I mean, more importantly, he is 1/4 of your guard, right? So getting rid of him, actively getting rid of him would.
I think you just have to let him die on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually said not happy about all the minus AV, so he's all 3 of them, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true. The team is a little bit more brittle because of that. But yeah, it's still a, strong core of players. But anyway,
yeah.
So this time, this is being played at Hillnick's ground, right? What stadium?
Something boring and bashy, right? The security gate.
Yeah.
So no riot, which is the correct choice for a.
Yeah, it's the safe choice for sure. I struggle to see how Tom can make up the difference here, to be honest.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Especially given the fact that he's only got he's got 1 good Tomb Guardian and 3 rookies. That's just going to be hard to, he's really lacking guard in this matchup. I mean, and the good Tomb Guardian doesn't even have a guard.
I mean, he's lacking almost everything, right? It's only that throw roar away from being a close to rookie team, right? And a bunch of skeletons.
Exactly. That throw roar is his only tackle piece. So yeah, it's gonna be an uphill struggle, but you never know. But
another game for Ramtut and Setek, perhaps.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah.
I'd be surprised if he didn't take them. Yeah.
Part of the reason I'm losing points is because I really hate just picking on the team that's got the highest. What's it? There's a couple of people gone for the draw as well. Spider and Nibbenen.
I mean, it could.
And
it's feasible for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely in Hillnick's favour.
I think having those 2 killer wolves now is tips it in the Necro favour.
Yeah, as well as the 700 TV inducements. Yeah. All right, so next is I am playing the vampires. Crunky Chops is at home.
Yeah, so you're getting a lot of inducements here as well, aren't you?
Yeah, 15 player vamps with a level to take, so 2130 probably. No riot or pitch invasion either. Against. May got MNG. That was what happened. So it wasn't a death, it was an MNG. And I appoed her aggressively to try and get her back into the game, and I rolled, and the appo tried to kill her, but I turned it down.
Yeah. So this must be the first time that May is missing a game in a long time.
It happens, but yeah, it's been a while, I guess. And in this game, I could induce a Mighty Blow Yeti as an option. I think that might be something I might do. It's obviously a lot worse. Yeah,
you are getting so much money.
Oh.
So star players, what good star players do you have? I suppose Cheney.
Yeah, always.
Cheney and the Merc Yeti with just like bribes and wizard and just all that goodness.
So my actual TV is 1330 currently, assuming I don't buy anything. I don't really need to buy anything anyway. So that will give me 800 TV of inducements once that level is taken, assuming it's not. I think. Can you talk for a second? I thought take something.
Yep.
Hello.
So it's a tough one to call. I think.
Yeah.
The vamps just have a lot of, obviously at this kind of TV, the vamps like to kind of bloat up, having a lot of bodies on the pitch.
Sorry, say that again.
The Vamps there.
You want to go and meet your friends, but you're in Wimbledon already.
Inducements.
How long will you be? Well, you have to go all the way back to Worcester Park.
We were talking about your blitzer, and for us, you definitely should sack him.
When do you think?
You're playing against a team
I think you should. If you're in Wimbledon already, it's up to you. Yeah. Yes, okay, you can go out with your friends if you would like.
Piece with a niggle.
But
with that much
what do you want? You can make the choice.
Doesn't really make sense. You don't want to be developing him because of the niggle as well. So
no, you're not going to have very much time there.
I would sack him. I think so would Coordinate, but obviously he's your player.
Okay. Does that mean I'll see you very soon? Okay.
So yeah, I typically like to bet against Coordinate, so I think I'm going to bet on
the
Vamps here.
I'll speak to you in a bit then.
Because he doesn't like to see Coordinate lose. Plus, he's not actually in the stream now, so we can slag him off quietly. Oh no, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back, and I did hear that, and that's fine. I don't mind people betting against me. I mean, the amount of TV inducements and this game as well. Like, Norse are basically a not very fast bash team, which is what vampires really like to play against. Obviously, I'm voting for myself.
Yeah, I just think that the Vamps have. I mean, the Vamps like to bloat up. It's a team that at this TV value starts to get scary. So, yeah, I think you're gonna have your hands full in this one.
Yeah, especially without the Yeti. Although Cheney would probably help a lot. What with a bit of strength 4 and wrestle. Be nice to have a guard player, or something that was special about the team other than a couple of doubles. But there you go. 3 doubles. And again, I look at the Fend player and wonder, why did I not take more dirty players? He would have been my 3rd dirty player, but, I still think that would have been better. Anyway.
All the dirty players died, did they?
Yeah. In one game. Yeah. Right after I picked Fend, because I had enough dirty players.
So I imagine you bet on yourself anyway, right?
Yeah, of course. All right, so Keith against Monglu.
Yeah.
I think this is and Keith is without one of his blitzers as well.
Oh, actually, can we just look at the table quickly? I don't think we did look at the table, did we?
No.
Because we're getting to sort of the business end of the season, it's some of these matchups are going to be important for a final table position.
Oh, massively. So the Vampires are the first place team, and I am 3rd. We're equal 2nd with Mongloom. And Keith is only a win and a draw behind.
This is a big game between Mongloom and Keith in terms of the table. Kilnick as well has made some ground up, right? I think he was struggling earlier on, and he started to kind of challenge for the higher slots.
Well, I think so. So his earlier games in the season were a lot of the dodgier teams, right? Which I think was more of an issue for him than
Maybe that's why he was going for the tackle on the Wolves as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all right. What's it? Sorry, just the teams again. I mean, my instinct is to go for Mongloom, but let's have a quick look at the 2 teams.
So Keith is, I think, for the first time. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, he's on 12 players. I thought it was going to be on 11, but 1,800, 12 players.
Is this home or away for him again?
He is home. So, and he does have the cash, so he could well be getting Bomber and.
So we know he likes to throw bombs. I mean, what was it? 40k for the 2 stars.
Yeah. So 10k for the Bomber alone, and then 30 for the thing against Kislev. I don't think I'd take the ball and chain. In fact, I wouldn't take the Bomber. You don't be throwing bombs over people with very long legs, do you? Maybe Keith won't even consider that and just will have fun.
This is Keith who just wants to throw bombs. So
yeah.
No. Plus, it's bodies on the pitch, and he likes to foul as well. So.
Yeah.
So there's probably going to be a wizard here, right? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he gets another player.
So he's on 1730, and Keith is on 1800 dead on. So actually, there's only 70k of inducements for Monglin.
Yeah, unless Keith does start, putting money in.
Oh yeah, if he puts money in, then it could go up to 110, and then Monglin does have the cash to round it out to a wizard.
Yeah. Does Keith have both of his blitzers, or is one of them MNG?
No, one of them's MNG. The movement 5 one also got MNG'd, which I clicked on at the beginning of this when we were clicking around a bit.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't really see past a Monglin win.
Yeah, no, I'm going for the same as well. All right. So next we have score. Oh, we have another Kiz. No, yes, we have another Kislev off. Scorers 2000s Kislev against
both of the bottom two teams, right? The division.
Yeah, they are indeed the two bottom Kislev.
Yeah.
So
I have I played against Scorers' team twice, I think. His team was quite bloated. At one point, he had a sort of a team over 2,000 TV, but with a lot of red on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's obviously, finally had some of those players properly killed, because he doesn't seem to like firing players, as we've seen with the punching bag lineup.
I mean, he's still got 4 red crosses, but they're a bit more acceptable, right? They're all kind of reasonable.
Before this was like a team that was over 2,000 TV that had a lot more red on it. So yeah, I think I would just, this is in favor of Lagerbond just from a coaching perspective, and his team is probably maybe a little bit more efficient than this one is.
Yeah, he's getting a wizard and then some more inducements, and he's also got a team that looks like it might also be better. I've also gone for Lagerbond. Yeah. Did you see the thing that Rasmus said about his blitzer has been on 5 of 6 SPP for long?
Yeah. I sort of, while you were out, I was commenting on
what
we were talking about, basically just repeating what we said before, that
it's a niggle.
Fire it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
So last game of the week. So this one is Lizards against the High Elves of Broccoli.
Yeah.
So this is probably a bit of a must-win for Broccoli, right? If he wants to get himself in contention, because I think he's sort of slipped slightly down the table.
They're both actually on the same number of points. They might be 7th and 8th, but both are equally able to.
Broccoli. Sorry, Ratam was saying it doesn't have a niggle, so maybe I'm getting mixed up with the different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we're thinking about the wrong one.
If that's the case, then ignore me. If it doesn't have a niggle, then obviously don't fire it.
Yeah.
Right. So he says it can't survive more than 2 blocks. So maybe it has a niggle that the interface isn't showing.
Yeah, the secret niggle. Like in the same way that Wood Elf War Dancers all have secret Mighty Blow, and that's why they always remove opponent players.
So actually, this is so both the Lizards and the High Elves on the same number of points. So for both of these teams, actually, it's a win is kind of critical to A, avoid relegation, and B, get themselves in the sort of position where they could get sucked up to. Due to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of 6-point games this week, so there's plenty of teams above them who won't be gaining that many points. If either of them win, it will catapult them up significantly, I think. But obviously, if they lose, the 2 teams below them are also have a 6-point game. So there's a lot of really important games this week, right? These two, yeah. But who's going to win between? And their TVs are pretty similar as well, right?
Yep.
The Lizards
you've got look at the teams. Matchup wise, typically, the high elves I think are slightly favored here, but it depends on how the teams are built. I mean, so the lizards are missing one mighty blow tackle, but they still have two other mighty blow tackle, or well, sorry, one mighty blow frenzy and one mighty blow tackle. So they have two other. They got quite a bit of mighty blow, which can obviously either do nothing or do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's have a look at the high elves for a second.
And the beer stand is where it's going to be played as well. So go for the serfs. Also, 11 players for the high elves.
Yeah, I don't like. He's given strip ball to that Saurus, hasn't he? With frenzy. That's a bit of a strange one.
Frenzy tackle, strip ball, and break tackle.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have tackle.
Little Rot Oscar.
I mean, I just think that strip ball is just gonna. Oh, it does have tackle. Sorry, I'm going mad. It doesn't. It doesn't have mighty blow. For some reason,
No.
I thought it. Yeah, it has tackle instead of mighty blow.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why he's done it. It's sort of with the break. Well, especially once it has break tackle. I mean, taking strip before break tackle to me is crazy. But I mean, the fact that it's quite mobile, I can understand it. But still, I mean, I would much rather have either mighty blow or stand firm on a piece like that.
See, I would actually I'd have taken break tackle before tackle. Like the frenzy is doing a similar job to the other two. You know, exactly. Break tackle gives you some.
Yeah, I would have done the same. I would have for a piece like if you're going frenzy first, then I think you definitely want break tackle to be able to kind of have the mobility to do those surfs or kind of surprise blitzes.
Well, and also then, break tackle will protect you from accidentally from being forced into frenzy traps, right? You can always break tackle away rather.
Yeah, and then I mean I would be considering things like Juggernaut or stand firm way before strip ball.
Or tackle, or even, in my opinion.
Or tackle because it's poor man's tackle already.
Not to mention the fact he's strength 4 anyway, right? So there's a certain, just roll powers on 2 dice. It's fine.
So yeah, I mean that's the only questionable piece. I think everything else looks like it's built sort of, in a
sensible manner.
Way. Yeah, and I mean the strength up on the skink is interesting. Would you have taken the strength on a large sidestep skink, or would you have gone for a double?
It's a tough one. I don't think it's really worth the 50k, but in leagues where you're higher TV, I think that's less of an issue. So, like in something like CCL, I don't think the strength is worth it. It's not.
I mean, where a strength up skink is very nice is things like it's a real threat if someone tries to sideline cage or do something like that. I mean, it's always a piece that can just kind of get into a cage and 1D someone or even 2D against some teams.
But would it be as good as Sure Hands, for example, at saving? Because lizards really, it would help a lot for a lizard team to have Sure Hands. In my opinion, I take Sure Hands for 4 block anyway, and in that case, the strength wouldn't be the choice because I would take block as the second double.
Yeah. Or even wrestle. Wrestle is nice as well. Okay, cool. So the high elves lacking a little bit in tackle. I mean, they have the one Rackle catcher.
But, just roll pals though. It's fine.
Just roll pals. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the high elves.
You're going with the high elves?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go for a draw.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. It's interesting. I also the way that Broccoli plays, I don't think he's going to go for a draw. I think it's more likely that it's either going to be a win for one or the other, as Broccoli's dice either work or fail him. But we will see. And that on that bombshell.
I mean, you say that, but he drew with you.
Yeah, that was me drawing with him rather than the other way around. There, that was me scraping the draw after he's rolled his dice, though. All right, so on that bombshell, I think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we still got 1B and champs to do. I mean, I think I'm just gonna stick in some bets now because and you know, my game is actually happening this evening. So
Yeah, no, I'll do my bets before then as well.
Yeah, so it's looking like we might not get have an evening stream.
I don't know. No, Spider said he might. So okay, so Spider said that he will be able to stream at 20
10 UTC.
Yeah, so 10 p.m. UTC, which is 11 o'clock here.
I can actually probably join for an hour.
Yeah,
and then I have to drop off.
I can join. It's just, you know, if I get called away or something, then you know, I'm not pausing the stream over it.
So let's do that. I mean, maybe if we just do champs first.
Yeah, we'll see how
while I'm on, and then we can then the two of you can just do 1B.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and remember to post to tell people that it will be on Spider's channel instead as well, maybe. All right, so who are we going to raid? I guess there's Paige, Eliod, Simply Sensei, Canuxian, and or Leffe actually. Do Leffe? He's no C stream. Oh no, he doesn't talk, and that kind of bugs me. Do you care? Do you have an opinion?
I honestly don't care.
Okay, I'm just going to stick with raiding Eliod because you know, it's the easy way out. Boom. Requires the least amount of thought on my part. Okay, well, thanks for joining me, Danton, and I'll speak to you this evening. Say goodbye.
Yeah, catch you later. Bye-bye.